Hello, everyone, and welcome to Tinderloss Gaming. And hello from Future Mark, who has just been playing through this latest scenario. I'm going to pass you to past Mark in a second, but just to let you know, this is the finale of my Scarlet Keys campaign with William Yorick. I've decided to head across and put William out of his misery. I think I've really enjoyed the campaign, and I don't want to say too much more because obviously spoilers. But I'm going to pass you across now to past Mark, who's going to make some decisions, play the scenario, and then give you a fuller roundup. Anyway, I'll see you soon. Right, thank you, past Mark, or future Mark, should I say. Here we are at our campaign, and we're going to depart from Buenos Aires. That's where William was before, so we'll click on that. And I think this is episode 8 of this scenario. I have to say, and be honest, um, William has struggled solo with the campaign. I've really enjoyed playing it, and I will replay it. But I think it's now time to let William finish off this campaign. So we're going to travel to Tunguska, and that's going to travel. It's going to take us 4 times to travel there, and we're going to travel there without stopping. So it says Tunguska finale, Congress of the Keys continue. We are continuing with William. Okay, we've travelled there of our own accord. So I'm just going to do some moving around of coffee and move my mic so I can actually see the screen. There we go, that's better. So it says you would have never have found the secret hideout of the Red Coterie without the intel Commissioner Taylor sent you. The compound lies deep underground in the heart of Siberia, not far from the mysterious crater that marks the site of the notorious Tunguska event. A blast, or perhaps an impact, the true nature of which we've been shrouded in mystery for over a decade. Maybe there is a connection between this strange event and the coterie's presence. No, knowing the kind of dangerous artifacts the coterie possess, there is no doubt in your mind. The question is, which came first? The compound's entrance is masked by heavy snow and remote wilderness, but eventually you find it. An unmarked steel door embedded in the side of a snowy hilltop, almost impossible to see from afar. You are surprised to find the door unlocked, but the moment you enter, you're set upon by coterie guards with suspicious eyes and familiar red clothing. We've been expecting you, one of them says with a wicked grin. Come, the Congress is about to begin. You have little choice but to follow. The guards lead you deeper and deeper into the complex, down steep, narrow stairways of worked stone and through dark, drab corridors, until you finally reach a large, windowless chamber lit faintly by mercury vapour lamps. Scarlet tapestries line the walls, along with several glass cases and shelves containing old relics and historical artifacts. Dominating the room is an enormous central table, an elaborate pattern of lines and rings carved meticulously along its surface. Standing around this central table are a host of figures, some familiar to you, others unrecognisable, all of them bare red. The door leading into the chamber slams shut behind you, and your heart surges in your throat. Your timing is impeccable, a voice among the gathered coterie states. We were just about to begin the vote. You inquire as to the nature of this vote, your mouth suddenly dry. You cannot shake the feeling that you have come here merely to look your own doom in the eyes. A meeting has been called to account for your crimes against the coterie or to be commended, if that is the will of the Congress. We will now entertain anyone who wishes to speak on your behalf or against you. From behind, you are suddenly restrained and a gag is placed over your mouth. Just a formality, I promise you. The guard drawls with a grin. The coterie or the trial. The coterie casts votes to determine your fate. Read the relevant passage from each of the following sections in order and tally all of the votes received. Each yay represents a coterie member who wishes to see you disposed. Each nay represents a coterie member who wishes to keep you safe. An abstaining vote or a vote of silence is neither a yay or a nay. If the cell aided the knight, which we did, the elderly knight from Alexandria steps forward, commanding the attention of the entire chamber. My esteemed associates, the individuals gathered here before us, despite their unfortunate affliction, are indeed worthy of our respect and recognition. Were it not for their assistance, our sanctum in Alexandria might have fallen. One of our own, I might add. I believe this demonstrates their value. Some of the others nod in agreement. The assembled members look around for a rebuttal, but none arrive. Perhaps the beast is nursing its wounds. The claret knight votes nay. The beast in the cowl of crimson abstains by default. Okay. SA we didn't do, so none of the above is true. If we purport to be a morally righteous organisation, the woman in the vermilion veil articulates politely, we cannot destroy each other and each thing that stands in our way. Progress requires understanding and cooperation, and I abhor violence. We should be working with these individuals, not against them. Eshe Sashen votes nay. We haven't done those three. Next to speak is a beautiful pale-skinned woman in a black dress. The blooming red flower adorning her hair is the only splash of colour gracing her outfit. We operate in secrecy for a reason, do we not? Her beauty belies her vile tone and harsh tongue. They know too much. Kill them and get it over with. Amaranth votes yay. Delightful. Thanks, Amaranth. None of the above. The one wearing a red cravat with a platinum blonde hair to match their sheet white skin speaks next. I've had no dealings with these before us, they say, gesturing towards you. It would be foolish of me to vote one way or another without knowing firsthand of their capabilities and trustworthiness. As such, I will sit this one out. Thorn abstains. None of the above is true. From the shadows emerge a gossamer figure dressed in white, a golden hued blade sheathed on her back and a veil of raven hair over her eyes. A scarlet sash drifts along a breezeless wind. Her words are heralded by a shrill, muted whistling, and she speaks in a language you have never before heard. One of the coterie, who seems to understand her, tallies this vote against you. Aliki votes yay. Desi's in our debt. We haven't seen the last of Desi. Your eyes snap over to Desi, hoping he will speak on your behalf, but he merely lights a cigarette and gazes into the wall behind you. Desi remains eerily silent. None of the above is true. A man you do not recognize speaks next. His large, imposing frame is dwarfed only by the luster of an enormous ruby ring adorned his left index finger. As fortune's chosen, we have once more been given a great and illustrious boon, he states, his thundering voice commanding the attention of all. Our enemies bound before us. Why dispose of such a gift? What better way to learn how to continue our great work than to question them? Perhaps we may even use them as leverage. Yes, leverage, he trails off, a sinister grin in his face. You almost wish he'd voted to kill you. Aberan abstains. No matter what. Cannot see the red man gloves man's face, but you imagine a great, terrible smile. He remains eerily silent. If we haven't seen the last of Lashika, You almost didn't see Lashika Roja standing between two of the other coterie members, enshrined in darkness. She tips the rim of her hat over her eyes, but a smirk plays on her lips. These ones thought they could catch me, just like the coppers and the feds. Another voice on the opposite side of the table, belonging to a balding man with small red spectacles, rises to challenge her. Hers. They were interfering with coterie business, he growls. Nah, she replies. They were interfering with a personal grudge. If you've got a problem with me, Red Eyes, take it up with me, not them. She abstains, and the Sanguine Watcher votes yay. Massai's not on our side. A thin, cut, clean gentleman with dark skin and striking red glasses steps out of the shadows. Whilst this entire ritual smacks of a boarding school antics, I believe that any threat to the coterie should be dealt with swiftly and humanely. They're too dangerous to let go. As that Masai votes yay. None of the above is true. A woman holding a red parasol over her head speaks next with a charming, alluring voice. I'm sorry, she begins, her glamour captivating the entire audience. Why are we wasting our time with such a paltry matter? Hope rises in your heart that she might speak reason. Just end them and be done with it, she says without even gazing your way. Your hopes shatter. Shenzang Ning votes yay. I have been deemed a liability. Oops. With the voting complete, you are shoved to the floor. You struggle against your bonds, but are unable to free yourself and vastly outnumbered besides. There is no hope of escape. A cold blade is placed at the edge of your neck. You who seek to harm our noble cause have been accused and charged with numerous crimes against the coterie, the voice states with dreadful gravity. The blade bites against your skin. A trail of blood trickles down your neck. The punishment is death. May the crimson stain of your legacy be washed away. You close your eyes and brace yourself. Just then, a crash. Shouting and sounds of a battle erupt throughout the room. A storm of clashing steel and gunfire is sent reeling as your would-be executioner is attacked by an unseen foe. You struggle to free yourself but are unable until moments later when you're dragged out of the chamber. Your bonds are cut and you're brought to your feet by none other than the woman in the vermilion veil herself. Essay ushers you down the hall, whispering over the chaos of the battle. We have to get you out of here. Several of the others who wear red follow in your wake, looking over their shoulders the entire time. You ask what is going on as another rumble shuddles throughout the halls. The one with the red gloves, she trails off, trembling as she grips your arm. He is not what you thought he was. That man always creeped me out, but to think, how could we have not known? You ask her to start again, slower. He attacked us, she says, meeting your gaze as you duck into a quiet hall filled with scarlet tapestries. The others fought him off, but there was something strange about him. He was not human. There was something else entirely. It stole as many implements as it could and escaped like, she shudders, just like one of the creatures we seek to destroy. Thoughts run unbidden through your mind. If the man with the red gloves, or whatever it truly is after the remaining keys, you have to stop it at any cost. You pull away from Essay and began marching back. What are you doing? She calls out. The rest of them won't show you any mercy, you know, but your intentions are clear. If you're going after that thing, one of the others says to you, then we're coming too. In your campaign log, record that the cell escaped the red coterie. And then we're going into setup. Right, I'm going to pause there and we're going to set up and then I'll be across at the table. Okay, so here we are at the table. So set up mostly everything. So let's just read through the setup in the campaign log. It says gather all cards from the following encounter sets. Congress of the Keys, Red Coterie, Scarlet Sorcery, Spatial Anomaly, Spreading Corruption, Locked Doors. That's what I've done there. Put the lair versions of Coterie, Sanctuary, and Scarlet Halls into play, which I've done. It says remove the Sanctum versions. I've done that. Each investigator begins at Scarlet Halls. Build the act deck only using 1A, Secrets and Lies, which is what I've done, V1. Remove any other version from the game. Gather each decoy mini and each of the following mini cards: City of Remnants, Mimetek, Nemesis, and the Red Glove Man, which is what I've got over to one side. Find each coterie enemy from the red coterie encounter set who's voted yay, along with the Red Glove Man, which I've done. Do not gather any of the coterie enemies from the set who voted nay. The lead investigator spawns the Red Glove Man in the shadows and resolves its keyword, which I'm going to do in a second. Shuffle the rest of the gathered coterie enemies one at a time in player order. Each investigator, other than the lead investigator, draws one of them, spawning them as normal. I haven't done that. Bear with. No, I just read it properly. It says shuffle the rest of the coterie enemies one at a time in player order. Each investigator, other than the lead investigator, draws one of them, spawning them as normal. Well, I am the lead investigator, so I assume I don't have one. So they're in actually the encounter set, which we'll shuffle in a bit. So for each member of the coterie who voted nay, find their conspirator story asset version and put them into coach. I've done. I'm going to go through those in a second. Set the three other world locations from the Congress of Keys encounter set and the Mimetek Nemesis enemy aside out of play, which I've done. Shuffle the remaining encounter decks to build the encounter deck, which is done. Now create a second encounter deck. Gather all these cards. I won't go through them, but there's a second encounter deck off to one side. And we'll put all those together. And there we go. We're now ready to begin. Right, we'll probably come back to a few bits as we go. So, we have spawned at the Scarlet Halls, which is 2 Shroud, 0 clues. And it's the lair version, and it's got Forced. After you enter Scarlet Halls, for the remainder of your turn, as an additional cost for you to remove from Scarlet Halls to a connecting location, you must either exhaust a conspirator asset you control or spend an additional asset action. Okay, that's fine. We've got our actions. We need those. And then let's work our way from top to bottom. Well, so first of all, Scarlet Halls is connected to each of these sanctuaries, which are obviously turned over at the moment. So we've got Agenda 1, Conflux of Consequence. And there's a load of writing there that looks like it's code, but I can't read it. But it does say Force. When this agenda advances, if it is Act 2, 3, or 4, skip the B side of this agenda and proceed directly to Agenda 2A. And it's got 3 doom on it. Then Act 1A, Secrets and Lies version 1. You have to find the man with the red gloves and discover what his plan is. But the remainder of the red coterie stands in your way. Don't they realise the true threat? The red glove man gains concealed 1 per player, so 1, and cannot be damaged. Objective: at the end of the round, if each investigator is at the same location as the red glove man, they may spend the requisite number of clues as a group to advance. We need 2. So the red glove man is in the shadows, and we'll turn. We've got 2. He's concealed 1, which means he gets 1 decoy card. So we'll do our best to shuffle 2 cards. And I'm going to look away, look at the screen. Just do this a lot. Don't really know what I'm doing. As in, I'm just making some noise here whilst my hands are doing some stuff. And we'll put that one there. Actually, we'll put it there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Two. So that concealed card is going to go there. Okay. So he's in the shadows. We've got to put another one of these into the chaos bag, which is what I've done. And then the final bit of prep, or two things. First of all, we've got to put this treachery into our deck, which is paradimensional understanding. And revelation, when you get it, you must choose. You must either choose one, immediately shift an unstable key you control, or flip each stable key you control to its unstable side. And then finally, in regards to my deck, I've spent my 5 XP and I've brought another time worn brand. So I've got 2 of those in the deck now. So let's chuck that in. Let's chuck that in. And then we'll do a shuffle. The cat weasel. Oh, I knew it. Knew it. Cat weasel cut. That can go there. He is in the shadows. We're all good. Shuffle the encounter deck just so that we know that there's no shenanigans on screen. See, these have been shuffled quite extensively off screen. I always like to do a couple of shuffles. And a cat weasel cut. There we go. Right, so we've got William has got his Eye of the Ravens, and we've got 2 mates. We've got the Claret Knight, who's an ally conspirator, 4 health, 2 sanity. And as a reaction, I can exhaust the Claret Knight to move up to 3 resources from my resource pool to the Claret Knight. And as another reaction, I can exhaust the Claret Knight, move up to 3 resources from the Claret Knight to your resource pool, or to an asset you control as charges, ammos, supplies, or secrets. So he can sort of top stuff up for us. And then we've got Essie Sahin, the Vermilion Veiled Lady, who's 2 health, 3 sanity. And as a reaction, I can exhaust her to look at the top card of any investigator's deck. If it's not a weakness, I can place it face down beneath her, limit of 5 cards. And then after any key is shifted, the owner of a card beneath SA draws that card. There we go. Right. We've got our Congress of Keys. We're playing on standard. So with the skull is -X, where X is the current number. The cultist is -5, and you may flip a stable key you control to its unstable side to treat this token's modifier as a -2 instead. The tablet is -2, and if this is an attack against a ready outsider enemy, you automatically fail instead. And finally, the elder sign is -3. Cancel the effects and icons of each card committed to this test and set them aside out of play as follows. Right, William, I think we're ready to go. Let's draw our 5 cards. See what we get. We have got a jury rig, an evidence. We've got a pocket multi-tool, what I want to keep, I think. We've got a cherished keepsake, and we've got a time-worn brand. So keeping the pocket multi-tool, keeping the time-worn brand, and keeping the cherished keepsake. We'll draw another 2 for these. We've got another pocket multi-tool, and we've got a lucky. Good. Very good opening hand. Happy with that. William is starting with 8 health and 5 sanity. He's got his mental trauma. No clues, no doom, obviously. And we are at 24 time. But we are. This is the last finale for William. Right. So my actions. I think first of all we're going to do a bit of a setup. We'll play 0 for a cherished keepsake. He's going to give us an additional 2 sanity, which is lovely. Now, do I go pocket multi-tool or do I go time-worn brand? There's quite a few enemies in there, so I'm going to pay my entire 5. 5 for time-worn brand. That was my second action. Now, I don't really want to be. I think I don't really want to be unconcealing these cards really at the moment until I've got my 2 clues. I think third action is going to be gain a resource. Try and build back up after our splurge. Oh, that shouldn't say enemy phase. Why is it doing that? There we Right, yeah, just change that to the investigation phase. So we've finished that. We then go on to the enemy phase. No enemies in play. So you go on to the upkeep phase. We gain a resource. Ready everything back. And we draw a card. And we've got a bandolier. Very handy. Very handy. Okay. We go across the upkeep phase. We go to the mythos phase. We add a doom. 1 of 3. And then we draw an encounter card. We're going to get distorted reasoning. Put distorted reasoning into play in your threat area. You cannot perform the same type of action twice in a row. Types include activate, engage, evade, fight, investigate, move, play, resource, draw. At the end of your turn, test willpower 3. If you succeed, discard distorted reasoning. There, our threat area. So remember that. Not too bad. Not too bad. Okay, we move on to the investigation phase. Hmm. Again, getting set up. I think first action is to gain a resource. I'm not, so that's fine. Distorted reason is fine. Second action, I'm going to pay 3 to play pocket multi-tool. And then do I move? Do I move? I think I do move. I'm going to move down to this one here. Over. The key rectory. Shroud of 1. Excellent. 1 clue per investigator. And the key rectory gains +2 shroud for each unstable key in play. Too bad. That was my third and final action. And then we're going to test for distorted reasoning. I'm 3 versus 3. I'm going to chuck my pocket multi-tool in. It's got a wild symbol on it to make it 4 versus 3. 4 versus 3, and we're going to get -1. Good job we did chuck a key in there, a multi-tool in there, so distorted reasoning goes. A little bit. There we go. Right. Move across to the enemy phase. No enemies in play. Upkeep phase. We're going to get our actions back. We're going to get a resource. We're going to draw a card. Live and learn. Fast. Play after a skill test you fail ends. Attempt that test again at +2. So we've got our lucky hand of live and learn. Let's get these clues. Come on, William. Got these clues. Right. So we move across to the mythos phase. We put a doom on the agenda, 2 of 3. Then we're going to draw our card. Bound in red, hex, revelation. If there are no coterie enemies in play, gain surge. Well, Red Glove Man, although he's in the shadows, I believe is considered to be in play. Otherwise, attach it to the right. Bear with. Okay, so in the rule book under concealed, it says enemies in the shadows observe the following additional rules. Enemies in the shadows are considered to be in play, but not in any particular location. They cannot move until they leave the shadows. So we're going to have to attach Bound in Red to the Red Glove Man, which means he gets +1 fight, +1 evade, and +1 horror. As an action, I can flip a stable key you control to its unstable side and then discard Bound in Red. Any investigator at a location may trigger this ability. So that now makes the Red Glove Man a 6 fight, a 6 evade, a 2 damage, and 2 horror. So I might be flipping that. Might be flipping our key. Okay, let's move out of the mythos phase. Let's go to the investigation phase. Well, first thing we're going to do, I think, is we're going to have a crack at getting the clue. We'll have a crack at getting the clue. We have got our pocket multi-tool. So we're going to be 2, 3, 4 to investigate. 4 versus 1. 4 versus 1, and we're going to get our cultist -5. We can flip it to make. I'm going to flip Eye of Ravens, make it -2, which means we get clue. Get the clue. That was my first action. Second action, we're going to have to move back to the Scarlet Halls because we can't. These are not connected. You have to go back. And then we will exhaust. We'll exhaust the Claret Knight, so we can move again for our third action, because it says here, for the remainder of your turn, it's an additional cost for you to move from the Scarlet Halls to a connecting location. You must either exhaust the conspirator asset you control or spend an additional action. Well, I've only got one action left. We're exhausted. We're going to move into here. We're at the Coterie Library. 1 clue per investigator. 4 shroud. After you fail a skill test while investigating Coterie Library, the nearest Coterie enemy with an attached key shifts each of their attached keys. We've got none in play, so that's pretty good. Okay, That's it for the investigation phase. We're going to move to the enemy phase. No active enemies in play. We're going to go to the upkeep phase. We're going to get our resources back, our actions back. We're going to go in resource, and we are going to draw a card. Another lucky. We've got 2 luckies in hand. We're going to move to the mythos phase. We are going to put a doom on the agenda, which is moves it to 3. So we'll flip. So when this agenda advances, if it's act 2, 3, or 4, skip the B side. So it says Swift the Scarlet. If the current act is Secret and Lies version 1, which it is, ley lines of paradimensional energy surround you, threatening to tear you apart. Each enemy shifts each of their attached keys. Immediately resolve an additional enemy phase. Then resume the current phase. Okay, so yeah, it says there resolve an additional enemy phase. Well, there's nothing to resolve because the red glove man is currently in the shadows. That's it. When this agenda advances, if it's Act 2, 3, or 4, skip the B side of this agenda and proceed directly to Agenda 2A. So we're going to go on to 2A. Again, it's really weird writing on there, but it's got 10 doom on it, so that's going to come off. Going to go back to 0 doom. We draw our counter card. Key charge. Search. Each coterie enemy shifts each key attached to it. I've got no coterie enemies in play. I did just have a quick read of the rules as I paused it because I didn't know whether I was supposed to. It seems like I should have a coterie enemy in play with a key, but it does specifically say shuffle the rest of the gathered coterie enemies one at a time in player order. Each investigator other than the lead investigator draws one of them, spawning them as normal. Shuffle the rest of the coterie enemies into play into the encounter deck. So I think I've done that right. But it does gain search. Warped reality. Attached to your location. Forced. After you end your turn at attached location, choose a non-weakness card in your hand and set it aside as a out of play as a hollow. 2 actions to discard warped reality. That's going to be here at the library. Okay, that's it for the mythos phase. We go across to the investigation phase. Right, we need to try and get the clue off of here. So first action is going to be to investigate. We're going to use our pocket multi-tool. So we're currently at 3, 4 for the coterie. So it's 4 versus 4. We'll do a straightforward 4 versus 4 at the minute. Four versus 4. Tablet is -2. If this is an attack against a ready outsider, you automatically fail instead. So we will play pay 1 fast action to play lucky. Play when you would fail a skill test, get +2 value to the skill for this test. So -2. We were 4 versus 4, and we were -2. So playing lucky makes it a draw. Means we get our clue. 2 clues. Okay. That was our first action. Second action, we're going to head back to the Scarlet Halls. And third action, we're going to fight. We are going to fight the concealed card. We're going to use our time-worn brand. We're not going to exhaust it. We're going to get +2 fight. So we're now fight 6 against 2. 6 against 2. 6 against 2. And we're going to get -4. But 6 against 2, -4 is still a draw. So it's a win. So we're going to... It is the Red Glove Man. Okay, so that concealed card goes. Red Glove Man. Oh, last action. Why did I do that? Why did I do that? Oh, God. Okay, that was a bad move. That was a bad move, MB. That was a bad move. Anywho, done it now. Right. So that's it for the investigation phase, enemy phase. Now the Red Glove Man is going to hit us for 2 and 2. I'll put 1 damage on the Claret Knight, 1 damage on Eshen. I'll put 1 sanity on Eshen, and I'll put 1 sanity on the cherished keepsake. Yeah. That's it for the enemy phase. We move to the upkeep phase. We move to the upkeep phase. We ready our car. We ready our actions. We gain a resource, and we draw a card. We're going to get a leather coat, which is good. Leather coat. Check our hand size 4. So at the end of the round, Secrets and Lies says, at the end of the round, if each investigator is at the same location as the Red Glove Man, they may spend the requisite number of clues as a group to advance, which is 2 clues. I'm going to spend my 2 clues. Boom, boom. I'm at the same location. It's the end of the round. We're going to flip Secrets and Lies. Finally, you spot the man with the red gloves just before he ducks into a shimmering extra-dimensional portal. There's no time to lose. It's now or never. You follow swiftly as the portal closes. Remove each location from the game. Investigators are not defeated during this process. Other enemies and attachments at those locations are discarded and concealed mini-cards are set aside. Put the knotted tower, gravity-defying climb, and the towering vertex locations into play in a straight vertical line, with the towering vertex at the top and the knotted tower at the bottom. Take the top 3 locations in the other world deck and place them in the shadows. arranged in a line from left to right. Take the 3 City Remnants mini cards, shuffle them face down, and arrange them around the knotted tower as follows: one to its left, one to its right, and one below. Place each investigator at the knotted tower and the red glove man enemy at the towering vertex. Remove the encounter deck and encounter discard pile from the game, replacing them with the second encounter. Wow. Okay. Looks like it's going to be a pause, and we will come back when hopefully I've got my head around A, what we're supposed to be doing, and B, it's all set up on the table. Right, for you, matter of 30 nanoseconds. For me, probably an hour and a half. Ladies. Okay, here we are back at the table. And for those that are eagle-eyed, you'll notice that I'm in a different t-shirt. That's because it's been a bit of a time since I paused the video. Other real life stuff became involved, and yeah, I couldn't get back to the table. But now I'm back, and we've got a new mic system as well. Why is that camera not appearing? Come on, there we go. That's better. So we've just set up the second part of this scenario. So where we were, we'd just gone and completed Secret and Lies version 1, and that told us to go away and put the knotted tower, the gravity defying climb, and the towering vertex into play in a straight vertical line, with the towering vertex at the top and the knotted tower at the bottom. Take the top 3 locations of the Otherworld deck and place them in the shadows. Now this is the Otherworld deck. So we'll give it a shuffle. And we'll place these 3 in the shadows. Put the deck up there for the time being, because we are going to need to come back to that. Let's just move that down a little bit. There we go. Take the top 3, place them in the shadows, arrange in a line from left to right, which is what we've done. Take the 3 City of Remnants mini cards and shuffle them face down, arrange them around the knotted tower. So these are the concealed cards. Basically, I'll show you. They've got City of Remnants, middle, right, and left. So we need to just shuffle those around. Always difficult shuffling 3 cards. And then we need to place them around the knotted tower, like so. Place each investigator at the knotted tower, the red glove man enemy at the towering vertex. Remove the encounter card, the encounter deck and the encounter discard pile from the game, replacing them with the second encounter deck. Now this is the second encounter deck. We've got it to hand. It has been shuffled off screen, but as is the rules on Tinderloss Gaming, we shuffle on screen for no shenanigans, and we also do what I term a cat weasel cut, and we'll place that there like so. There we go. So we're going to move on to Act 2, the Tower. Beyond all of known reality, in the dimension known only to the forgotten and the forsaken, lies the preposterous City of Remnants, the home world of the outsiders themselves. Looming before you, a terrifying twisted tower of jumbled architecture is a nexus of rolling mist and clouds across an alien sky. Location and concealed mini cards cannot be placed adjacent to tower locations. Now, weirdly, the knotted tower is not a tower location. Gravity defying climb is a tower location, as is the towering vertex. Objective: find a way into the tower where the infiltrator lies in wait. If an investigator enters the gravity defying climb, advance. So there's no clues there, we've just got to try and get into the gravity defying climb. So the knotted tower, let's turn it over quickly. It says on it, it's obviously another world location. In the nexus of this jumbled other world rises the tower, a sinister structure of assorted materials climbing out of the tangled city, looming countless stories over you like a skyscraper of forgotten architecture. An otherworldly mist snakes around the tower's length, flanked on all sides by barren, jagged peaks. We turn it over. It's a 3 shroud, 0 clues. And we've got a reaction. After a location is placed adjacent to the knotted tower, move to that location from the knotted tower. Okay. I think we're done. We're on agenda 2A. We're at the end of the upkeep phase because we've done that at the end of the round. So we are now moving into the upkeep phase. So we will place a doom on the agenda, 1 of 10. We don't know what that says. It doesn't say anything on agenda 2A other than the weird writing. Now the City of Remnants, these 3 cards here, there's a whole deck that we're probably going to have to mill through. But the left-hand side one says Concealed 1, Forced. When you expose this location, and then there's 2 points. If it's in the left position in the shadows, which it is, I lose 2 resources. If it's in the middle position in the shadows, I lose an action. They've all got different ones here. That's the same. If it's in the left position, lose 2 resources. Middle position, lose an action. And this one says if it's in the left position, which it's not, take a damage. If it's in the right position, take a horror. So we will need to remember that when and if we expose them down here. During the sort of interim, I've watched a few videos on this particular scenario, and I think it's safe to say it's confusing. It's very confusing. So for those experts out there, I'm probably going to make some mistakes. I think I've got a handle on it, but I'm not entirely sure. So we've placed our doom. We draw an encounter card, and it is Frozen in Fear, classic. Put Frozen in Fear into play in your threat area. The first time you perform one of the following actions, move, fight or evade, it costs an additional action. At the end of your turn, test willpower 3. If you succeed, discard Frozen in Fear. Well, that is a little bit annoying, as Frozen in Fear has always been. So in hand, just a reminder, I mean, I know it's only been a matter of seconds for you, but for me it's been a few days. So we've got Lucky, we've got Bandolier, we've got Live and Learn, and we've got a Leather Coat. So we then move out of the Mythos phase into the investigation phase. I think first action, for 0 cost, I'm going to put the good old Leather Coat on. Soak of 2. I think I'm going to need it in this scenario. And then for my second action, I'm going to fight, but that's going to cost me an additional action because of Frozen in Fear, annoyingly. So all of my actions are to fight to try and unconceal one of these cards. I'm a fight of 4, so it's 4 versus 3 at the moment. I will, as an action, use the Time Worn Band. I won't exhaust it, so I'm getting +2 fight. So that is 6 versus 3. 6 versus 3. I've got a lucky in hand. I could chuck a bandolier in it, but I want to save the bandolier, I think, for more of an uber action. So we're going to go 6 versus 3. 6 versus 3. And we're going to get a skull, which is minus X, where the act number -2, act 2. So we win. We unconceal a card. Now, let's use some randomness to it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 5, 6, which is this concealed card here. So this is City of Remnants left. So what happens, as I understand it, this comes into play here. It's in the left position, so we do lose 2 resources, annoyingly. And it's got concealed 1, which means I need a decoy card. Where are my decoy cards? There's a decoy card. And what we do, annoyingly, we try and not remember what we're doing. So we're going to look at the screen, give it a good old shuffle up, and then these go like that, as I understand it. And then we flip this card over, and it's Alien Frontier. 3 shroud, 1 clue per investigator. Forced, when you move from Alien Frontier to a connection location above or below it, test willpower 5. If you fail, test agility 5. If you fail, take 2 damage. As an action, take 1 horror. Look at the revealed side of either location in the shadows or at the top of the other world deck. Group limit once per game. Actually, we need to then cycle back in a third. So we've always got 3 in the shadows. This one's got, if it's in the left position, take a damage. If it's in the right position, take a horror. And I think we will move into the Alien Frontier. I think that's how you do it. I think that's how you do it. Right, so at the end of the turn, we've got Frozen in Fear in play. Test willpower 3. We've got a lucky and we've got a live and learn. So let's remember that. So we'll go straight up 3 on 3. Straight up 3 on 3. And we've got 0, which means it's a draw. So we do get rid of Frozen in Fear. Okay, what I should have said as well is the gravity-defying climb. It says the gate to gravity-defying climb is sealed and forgotten. As an additional cost to enter gravity-defying climb, investigators at the Knotted Tower must spend 4 clues as a group. Now, the weird thing about this scenario, one of the many weird things about this scenario, is now that I'm at the Alien Frontier, it's actually not linked to the Knotted Tower. There's no linkage. So I don't think I can go back to the Knotted Tower from where I am. I mean, I've got to do all this, otherwise I'm not going to get anywhere. But weirdly, it doesn't look like you can move back. But I'm sure it'll all become clear as we play through the scenario. Okay, so that is it for the investigation phase. We move across to the enemy phase. Red Glove Man obviously hasn't got a hunter or anything like that. We're not flipped a key to its stable side. I mean, the Eye of Ravens is on its unstable side, but I'm not too fussed about that at the moment. So we're then going to move into the upkeep phase. We're going to get our actions back. We are going to gain a resource, and we're going to draw a card. And we've got evidence. After we defeat an enemy, we can discover a clue, but it's got 2 books on it, which is nice. Let's put that there. Okay, right, that's it for the upkeep phase. We move to the mythos phase. We put a doom on the agenda, so we're at 2 of 10. Oh, we do get a clue. No, we haven't got a clue. What am I going on about? 0 clues. Hopefully getting a clue. And then we're going to draw our encounter card, which is going to be matter inversion. Revelation, attached to an outsider enemy without a copy of matter inversion attached if you cannot again search. Now, the only enemy in play is the Red Glove Man, and he is not an outsider. No other enemies in play. So we will forget that and we will surge it, and we will get an apocalyptic presage. Ooh, 4 fight, 5 health. Ow, he's a big boy. 2 to evade. He is a monster, an outsider. Forced. When apocalyptic presage enters play, each investigator chooses a non-weakness card that they control in their hand or play area and set it aside out of play as a hollow. It's got a victory, 1 of it. When apocalyptic presage is defeated, instead of adding it to the victory display, discard it and choose up to 3 set-aside hollows. Add those to the owner's hands. Okay, what have we got? Well, don't really need bandolier, so bandolier will go into the shadows. We'll put a little dice on that. Nice little 7 TV dice. Those who haven't played 7 TV, awesome miniatures game. So he comes into us engaged. Ooh, 5 health. I'm glad I've got the time worn band. Okay, that's it for the mythos phase. We go to the investigation phase. Well, I think it's time to do what William likes to do. First action. I've got to fight with the time worn band. I'm not going to exhaust it. So I'm currently 6 versus 4. 6 versus 4. I've got to live and learn, and I've got to lucky. I can't do anything else other than that. Evidence is not going to help me. So we're at the mercy of the chaos bags. 6 versus 4. 6 versus 4. And that is the tablet -2. If this attack is against a ready outsider, you automatically fail instead. So 6 versus 2 -2 is not a failure, but drawing that means I automatically fail it instead. Okay. I automatically fail it. I've got to take that. Because even though I'm passing, it is an outsider. So that's the way I read it. So I will fast play a live and learn. Play after a skill test you fail ends. After resolving all the effects from the fail test, there's no effects. He hasn't got retaliate. Automatically attempt that test again with +2 skill value. So does the time worn band still play? I'm going to say it's not. So I'm still 6 versus 4. 6 versus 4. Oh my God. -5. You may flip a stable key you control to its understable. I can't do because the Raven is the Eye of Ravens is not on its stable side, so I fail. That was my first action. Okay. Second action, to fight the apocalyptic presage again, using the time-worn band. 6 versus 4. -1. Thank the Lord, we win. Does +1 damage, so that's 2 damage onto the apocalyptic presage. Third action, I will exhaust the time-worn band to now be at 7 versus 4. Because I get add your willpower to the skill value. My willpower is 3. I'm at 4. I have got a lucky. 7 versus 4. 7 versus 4 -1. We do enough damage. It's +3 damage. So it's 4 damage. So that kills the apocalyptic presage. I'm not going to add it to my victory display. I will take my bandolier back. And that goes. So I've defeated an enemy. So I'll pay my 1 resource to play evidence. Play after you defeat an enemy, discover 1 clue at your location. Thank you very much. Evidence. So we're now got a plus clue. Only took me 3 actions. Well, it would have taken 4. 2 normally to kill a 5 health time-worn band. Love it. Love it. Okay. That's it for the investigation phase. We move on to the enemy phase. No enemies in play now other than the red glove man, which we're not worried about. Upkeep phase. We're going to get a resource. We'll get our actions back and we'll draw a card. We get a jury rig. We get a jury rig. Very nice to add on to the time-worn band, methinks. Very nice indeedy. Okay. That's it for the upkeep phase. We're going to go to the mythos phase. We're going to put a doom on. So we're now at 3 of 10. And we're going to draw our card, our encounter card. Ancient Evils. Classic. Just lost a turn. Place a doom on the agenda. So we're now up at 4. Investigation phase. Right. First action. Play jury rig. Let's have a shift of these. Jury rig. Attached to the time-worn band. Comes in with 3 durability on it. We'll use those ones just because they're nice and near. What jury rig does, it says attached to an item asset controlled by an investigator at your location. During a skill test on attached asset, spend 1 durability to get +2 skill value for this test. Oh, nice. Very nice. second action. We are going to fight these concealed cards. We're a fight 3. Fight 3. Oh, I should have unexhausted the time worn band. We will use the time worn band, so we're now 6 versus 3. We've got our lucky, so I think we'll keep that. Do we chuck our bandolier in? Yeah, we'll chuck our bandolier in to make it 7 versus 3. 7 versus 3, -2. We're good. So we can unconceal one of these cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 5 again. So we're going to unconceal this card, which is left. So we take the left one. That goes. Yeah, that's a decoy. So that goes because we've unconcealed it. Where we're running out of space here. So let's put this one down. After you expose this location, take 1 damage. Well, we'll put that on to the leather coat. We'll flip it. Alien Frontier. 1 clue. And concealed 1. Oh God, I'm seriously running out of space here. Let's do that. So that's my first action, was to try and so oh, we've got to do that. This is so confusing, this scenario, because these when you play a lot of Arkham Horror, there's sort of some things that get ingrained in your mind, which is connecting locations. These aren't connected. After a location is placed adjacent to the knotted tower, move to that location. Now, it says when you move to from an alien frontier to a connecting location to its left or right, test agility 5. Well, that was down. I'm so confused with this scenario. I think that was why I was sort of trying to work out how to bloody play it. So should you do this? I'm going to do that. That's the only way I can think of play it. It's really weird. Bear with me. Okay, well, I think we've got there with a little bit of help from Facebook Arkham Horror. Thank you, group. Thank you very much. So this is still confusing to me, but I'll read it. So On page 57 of the campaign booklet, it says locations adjacent in the realms of the outsiders. It says, throughout this scenario, locations are arranged in patterns of rows and columns along with the concealed mini cards. Each location is connected to each location adjacent to it. Okay, so that's fine. I've moved it back because that's where the location of the concealed mini card was, so I've moved it down there. During this scenario, concealed mini cards are also placed adjacent to one or more locations as above instead of placed at locations as normal. Makes no sense. And then it says locations in the shadows. During this scenario, investigators must traverse the deceptively labyrinthine and illusionary world of the home of the outsiders. To represent the difficulty of exploring this alien dimension, 3 City of Remnants locations are placed in the shadows at all times, which is what I'm doing. And concealed mini cards are arranged adjacent to locations rather than placed at them. Exposing these concealed mini cards is key to finding the route through this otherworldly place. Concealed mini cards adjacent to a location are considered to be at that location for the purposes of card abilities and game rules. Use the shroud value of a current location when attempting to expose. Yeah, that's fine. When a City of Remnants mini card is exposed, set it aside and find the City of Remnants in the shadows which position in the shadows matches it. Left, L for left, M for middle, right, R for right. Put that location into play in the position where the mini card was, unrevealed face up. So what I've done is I have to say, designers, this is the most complicated scenario I've ever played in Arkham Horror. And I might sound like I'm a little bit frustrated. That's because I am. It's so bloody confusing. But anyway, let's carry on. This is the finale. So I've shuffled these up and placed two cards either side. So it is considered adjacent, so we can move. So my next action is going to be to move down. Let's just put him there. And let's attempt to get the clue first of all. Shroud of 3. I have got a lucky in hand. We'll use the pocket multi-tool to investigate. So I'll exhaust the pocket multi-tool to get +2 because I've got magnifying lens as an XP. So that gives me 2. That takes me to 4 versus 3. It's not great odds. Have I got anything else? No. 4 versus 3. Let's go for it. We've got a lucky. 4 versus 3. Okay. Yeah, you've just heard me, haven't you, Chaos Bag? You've heard me moan about this scenario, and now you're like, well, whatever. That was my third action, was to investigate. I moved. Okay. That's it for the investigation phase. We go to the enemy phase. No current enemies in play other than the red glove man. We go to the upkeep phase. We're going to get our pocket multi-tool back. We're going to get a resource. And we're going to draw a card. Schaffner's Catalogue. Don't really need that now, but it is a book. We've readied everything. Okay. Hang on a sec. I've missed something. When you move from Alien Frontier to a connecting location to its left or right, test agility 5. Oh, okay. Now, see, this is one of the confusing things about this scenario. Because I placed a concealed card underneath this one, if we wound it back, there was one here and one here. It's just where I placed them. It appears below because it says you put the card where the concealed card was, and it wasn't left or right, so I've moved down. So sod it, I'm not going to test. Now these ones are left and right now because I've got no space to keep putting it down. And why would you ever? I'm not being funny. When you place the concealed cards, why would you ever place one of them left and right? You'd always place maybe one of them down, so you're never taking that test. Confusing. Stop moaning, MB. Stop moaning and get on with it. So I'm not taking that test because I've moved down. So if I've done that wrong, then, you know, I personally blame not myself. Okay, so we're going to move out of the upkeep phase. We're going to move into the mythos phase, and we're going to put a doom on the agenda. We're now 5 of 10, so we're halfway through. And we're going to draw our encounter card, which is memory variant. Puts memory variant into play next to the agenda deck. The agenda deck, yeah. Forced. After an event is played, instead of discarding it, set it aside out of play as a hollow. Action. Test willpower 4. If you succeed, discard memory variant. Any investigator may trigger this ability. So we need to remember that. We need to. I'm going to forget that. I can guarantee I'm going to bloody forget that. So let's put that up there. Try and remember memory variant. Try and remember memory variant. Okay. We move out of the mythos phase. We go to the investigation phase. First action. We'll exhaust the pocket multi-tool to investigate at the alien frontier to try and get the clue. We will play a Schaffner's catalogue. So we're now at 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 versus 3. 5 versus 3. Elder sign. -3. 5 versus 3. That's -3. I will play a lucky for 1 resource. Get +2. 5 versus 3. -3. +2. We win. We get our clue. So we're now at 2 clues. Oh, let's chuck that back in there. That was our first action. Do I continue down this path? Or because I know one of those is a decoy, but these are not decoys. This one's effectively here. Let's just do this. That's there like that. So if we were to come down here, yeah, I think I'm going to move twice. 1, 2, move up. I'm not moving from left or right. I'm not moving from left or right. Ah, okay. Right, so this one, hang on a sec. This one says when you move from alien frontier to a connecting location left or right, test agility 5, take 2 damage. This one says when you move from alien frontier to a connecting location above or below it, test agility 5. Oh, I missed that. Sorry, that's my mistake. So I'm gonna move here for 2 actions. When you move from frontier to a connecting location above or below it, I'm not going left and right. Don't have to test. I should have done it down here, but anyway, is what it is. So that's my actions. Back to the knotted tower. And I'm going to expose this one next, I think. Okay. Pretty short investigation phase. We go to the enemy phase. No enemies in play. We go to the upkeep phase. We're going to ready everything. We're going to get a resource. We're going to draw a card. Resourceful. Okay, that's handy. We've got some lovely survivor cards in our discard pile. Okay, let's leave that there. We've readied everything up. We go to the mythos phase. We put a doom on the agenda. We now have 6. I didn't play any events, so that's good. And then we draw a card. Paracausal entity. 3 fight, 2 health, 3 to evade, monster outsider, hunter. Forced. When paracausal entity engages you, look at the top card of your deck. If it is not a weakness, set it aside out of play as a hollow. So he comes into, he does engage us. We're going to look at the top card, which is bury them deep. We're going to put that as a hollow out of play. Not too bad. That's not too bad. Investigation phase. Right. Fight of 3. First action. Going to fight with the time worn band. I'm not going to exhaust it. So I'm +2. So I'm 6 versus 3. 6 versus 3. I will chuck in a resourceful to make it 7 versus 3. 7 versus 3. 7 versus 3. -4. Good job I did chuck resourceful in. 7 versus 3, -4. We kill it. It's +1 damage, so it does the 2 damage. So paracausal entity goes. Memory variant kicks in. After an event is played, instead of discarding it, set it aside out of play as a hollow. So that's going to go into here. Oh, where's my 7 TV dice? There we go. And we do get to choose a card not named resourceful. Now, do I go lucky or do I go live and learn? I'm going to go lucky. I'm going to name lucky. And I'll have a lucky in my hand. Thank you very much. So that was the first action, was to kill the paracausal entity. Second action is again to fight this concealed card. So 3 plus 2, so I'm 6 versus 3. I'm not going to exhaust a jury rig. 6 versus 3. Tablet minus 2. It's not an attack against an outsider, so we do get to reveal this card. City of Remnants M, the middle. Decoy card. We'll do that in a second. If it's in the middle position in the shadows, lose 1 action. So that's our last action gone. We flip it over. Rambling route. 1 clue per person. That gets re-put in. Increase the difficulty to fight or evade each concealed mini card at Rambling Route by 2. Action, spend X resources, choose a concealed mini card adjacent to a location X connections away, look at the revealed card without exposing it. Okay. I would imagine, so we're going to, I would imagine you can't put a concealed card this side because that's where it's connected to. So I'm going to play it like that and that. Take it, that's right. No idea. No idea. Okay, that's it for the investigation phase because that rambling, something caused me to lose an action. Can't remember what it was. Oh, it's the card. Enemy phase. No enemies in play. Move on. Upkeep phase. We get a resource. Nothing to exhaust. We draw a card. We've got a cherished keepsake. That's good. We go to the mythos phase. We're going to put a doom on the agenda. Seven of 10. And we're going to get a card, which is Otherworldly Mimic. 3 fight, 2 health, 4 to evade, monster outsider, aloof, hunter. Forced. If Otherworldly Mimic is ready, when an investigator at a location plays, commits, or triggers an ability of a copy of a set-aside hollow, it attacks the investigator. Okay, so that's aloof. Oh, we should have moved. Sorry, my apologies. I was going to move. I should have moved. That's a reaction. So we're at the rambling route. Okay, that's it for the mythos phase. We go into the investigation phase. First action is to engage the otherworldly mimic. Second action is to fight it with the time-worn band. So we're currently 6 versus 3. 6 versus 3. Six versus 3. Let's go for it. 6 versus 3. -3. Cancel the effects and icons of each card committed to this test and set them aside out of play as a hollow. I didn't commit any cards to it. 6 versus 3, -3. We win. Otherworldly Mimic is deceased. Third action is to investigate. We're not gonna fight or evade. Mini card. Increase the difficulty to fight or evade each concealed mini card. We're gonna investigate it. We're gonna investigate this one here. So investigation will exhaust our pocket multi-tool to take us to 4 versus 2. 4 versus 2. Four versus 2, 0. We do decoy. Okay. So we know that that is the card. That's our last action. That is our last action. Enemy phase, we've killed it. Upkeep phase, we're going to gain a resource. We're going to draw a card. We've got Scene of the Crime. Very handy. Gosh, yeah. Oh, I thought I should have investigated to get the clue, but it doesn't matter. I've got Scene of the Crime now, so that's fine. That's fine. So get our resources, get our actions back. We can ready pocket multi-tool. We're good. We're going to go to the mythos phase. We're going to put a doom on the agenda. 8. 8 of 10. 8 of 10. We are going to draw our card. We're going to get substance dissimulation. Revelation. For each set-aside hollow you own, if there are one or more copies of that hollow in your play area and or hand, there isn't, discard those copies and take 1 damage and 1 horror. If no cards are discarded by this effect, choose a non-weakness card you control in your hand or play area and set it aside out of play as a hollow. Well, we are going to set aside Cherished Keepsake as a hollow. Done. We go to the investigation phase. First action, A2. Scene of the crime. Play only your first action. Discover 1 clue at your location, 2 clues if there is an enemy at your location. So we are now at 3 clues. Second action, we're going to try and reveal this card. We're going to investigate. So we are 4 versus 2. 2 for pocket tool, 1 from the A and 1 from the XP. So 4 versus 2. -4. 4 versus 2, -2. We'll play a lucky for 1. To get +2, so we're back to 0. Lucky gives us +2, and that's a 2. So we do reveal it, which we know is the middle one. So, middle. When exposed this, if it's the middle position in the shadows, which it was, choose a non-weakness card in your hand and set it aside out of play as a hollow. I've got no cards in my hand, so unlucky. We're gonna reveal it. It's a rambling root. That's gonna go there. So 1 on it. And put 1 there. God almighty. Getting really on 1 there. Third action, we're going to move down to the rambling root. Part 2. Part 2. And that's it for the investigation phase. Enemy phase. No enemies in play other than the red glove man. Upkeep phase. We're going to get our pocket multi-tool back online. We're going to get a resource. And we're going to draw a card. Look what I found. Start play after you fail a skill test by 2 or less. Discover while investigating. Discover 2 clues at your location. We might need that later. Okay, we go to the mythos phase and we're going to put a doom on the agenda. We are now 9 of 10. We are squeaky. Okay. That and that should be as a hollow. Memory variant, just remembered. Those are going in there as hollows. Slightly annoying. Okay. We're going to draw our card. How on earth? How answer me this, internet. The designers, when they first designed this game, how on earth did they manage to make the Ancient Evils card the card that always comes out just when you're at the edge of the doom? It's awesome. I mean, I love it. But the amount of times that I've had this card come out in this particular way, we're at 9 of 10. Place 1 doom on the current agenda. This effect can cause the agenda to advance, which it clearly does. So, I love it. I absolutely love it. So, we're going to turn this over. And it says, Transdimensional Shock. A peal of thunder resounds across dimensions. In the deep recesses of your mind, the building pressure of infinite forgotten worlds crush your every sense. Your keys, surging with paradimensional energy, rattle and hum in your hands. Without them, you could scarcely withstand the strain of this realm. Flip each decoy over. Shuffle all concealed mini cards in play. Then place them at random in the positions they were in. Each okay. I'll flip each decoy over, shuffle all concealed mini cards in play, and place them at random in the positions they were. So that could be a decoy now. We've got no idea. Shift an unstable key that you control without flipping it to its stable side, cancelling all of the damage and horror just dealt to them by the above effects. Oh, each investigator takes 2 damage and 2 horror, but may either choose one. Shift an unstable key they control without flipping it to its stable side to cancel all the damage and horror. So I would have to draw an encounter card. Flip any number of stable keys they control without to cancel that much damage and horror. Two damage and 2 horror. Yeah, I think I can do that. I'm going to place one horror on Eshen. I'm going to place 1 horror on the cherished keepsake, which makes it pop. I'll place 1 damage on the claret knight, and I'll place 1 damage on the leather coat, which makes that pop as well. Oh, been forgetting bloody Williams. Could have been getting cards back through all these bloody monsters I've killed. Why did I forget that? Why did I forget that in this very, very simple, not complex scenario? Who knows? Okay. So we've done that. And we're going to go to agenda 3A, which is all of the same sort of weird writing and 7 doom on it. So let's grab all of my doom. Let's grab all of the doom. We'll take the doom down to 9. There we go. And that's it for the mythos phase. We go to the investigation phase. First action, we're going to exhaust the pocket multi-tool to investigate the rambling route. 2 versus 4. 2 versus 4. I think that's all I can do. 2 versus 4. 1, 2 versus 4, minus 4. Two versus 4 minus 4. Right, okay, yeah, 2 versus 4 minus 4, so I'm 0 against 2. I will pay 2 to fast play. Look what I found. Play after you fail a skill test by 2 or less. I failed by 2. Discover 2 clues at your location. I can only get 1 because there's only 1 there. Yes! And second action is to move back to the rambling route. And third action is to move back to the knotted tower, ready to move up to the gravity defying climb because we've got our 4 clues. We've got our 4 clues. Okay. That's it for the investigation phase. The enemy phase. No enemies in play other than the red glove man. I know I keep saying that. Upkeep phase. We're going to get our resource. We're going to ready up. We're going to draw a card. Got a bandolier. Not overly useful. not overly useful. We're going to go to the mythos phase. We're going to put 1 doom of 7 on the agenda. We're going to draw our card. We are going to get a paradimensional terror, peril. You must decide, revelation. Revelation, you must decide, choose 1. Flip each decoy over, shuffle all concealed mini cards in play, then face them place down at random positions they were in, or each investigator takes 1 damage and 1 horror. Well, I don't really care because I'm not coming back here, so let's do this. One, two, 1, 2. Okay. That, I don't think that was too bad. Well, that event should have gone into there because of memory variant. That might come back to bite me. But anyway, mythos phase over, investigation phase. Okay, so I'm going to spend my 4 clues. To enter the gravity-defying climb. The gate to gravity-defying climb is sealed and forgotten. As an additional cost to enter the gate gravity-defying climb, investigators at the knotted clue must spend 4 clues as a group. So we've spent our 4 clues, 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll flip over gravity-defying climb. 4 shroud, no clues. Forced. When a concealed mini card around gravity-defying climb is exposed, if it is the next in the sequence listed on the towering vertex, it remains in play and exposed, and you may expose another concealed mini card. Any other mini card, flip it, and each concealed mini card face down. What the hell is this going on about? What the heck? The way to the towering vertex is impossibly perplexing. In order for each investigator to enter the towering vertex, each concealed mini card The way to the towering vertex is impossibly perplexing. In order for an investigator to enter the towering vertex, concealed mini cards around gravity-defying climb must be exposed in the following sequence. First, City of Remnants left. Second, City of Remnants middle. Third, City of Remnants right. Okay, so we've entered in here now. This to the tower triggers. So it says objective, find a way into the tower when the infiltrator lies in wait. If the investigator enters the gravity-defying climb, advanced. Okay, so we're advancing the act. This is into the tower. 7 forgotten locks grant entry to the tower, each one a piece of history from a realm long since erased from time. You forget they exist the moment the gates open. On the other side, steps course their way up the spire's baffling length, winding, perplexing, and seemingly infinite. The ascent to the apex of the tower that binds this world together is paradoxical, a Gordian knot twisted far too many times. Even if you make it to the top, you doubt you'll ever find a way back. Set each concealed mini-card aside out of play. Remove each of the City of Remnants in the shadows and the remainder of the Otherworld deck from the game. Take the 3 City of Remnants concealed mini cards and 1 decoys per player, shuffle them face down and arrange them around the gravity-defying climb in a random order. Right, okay, so set each concealed mini card out of play. I need the 3, those 3, so those decoys go. Remove each of the City of Remnants in the shadows and the remainder of the Otherworld deck from the game. Right, so those are now going. So those have gone. Take the 3 City of Remnants concealed mini cards and 1 decoy. So those 3 plus a decoy per player. Shuffle them face down. Right, he's there. Let's put 1. God, running out of space. Well, let's do this. Let's do this. Take the 3 Remnants concealed mini cards and 1 decoy, shuffle them face down and arrange them around the gravity-defying climb in a random order, which is what I've done. Okay. The ascent. A terrible feeling of vertigo washes over you as you begin to scale the Cyclopean Shvesku steps. Only one way to go now. Objective, ascent. If an investigator enters the Tower of Vertex, advance. So, to enter, in order for an investigator to enter the towering vertex, concealed mini cards around gravity-defying climb must be exposed in the following sequence. First, okay, so what I've basically got to do is expose them in the correct order. Left, middle, right. Left, middle, right. So we need to remember what's what. Okay. I think that's it for my investigation phase, isn't it? I've completely forgotten where I was. I've completely forgotten where I was. No, I think it must be that was my first action. I don't even think I've spent any actions yet. Because yeah. So my turn. I think. If it's not my turn, I apologise. So first action. We're going to try and fight it. We're going to try and fight it. Got a bandolier. I'll play a bandolier using the time worn band. So I'm 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 versus 3. Bandolier is not an event, it's an asset, so it doesn't go in there. So that's 7 versus 4. Hey, 7 versus 4. +2, and if successful, return 1 card from your discard pile to your hand. It's got to be lucky, isn't it? Lucky or a live and learn. Let's go with a lucky. Let's go with a lucky. So we do get to expose oh, okay, I get it. I get it. So when a concealed mini card around the gravity-defying climb is exposed, if it is the next in the sequence as above, it remains in play and exposed, and you may expose another concealed mini card. Any other mini card, flip it, and each other concealed mini card face down. So let's just try here. That's the right one. So that, if it is the next in the sequence listed, which it's not, because we need to do the left-hand one first, it remains in play and exposed, and you may expose another concealed mini card. Any other mini card, flip it, and each other concealed mini card face down. So, okay, so that is the right. The left is the right. Okay. Second action, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to fight with the time worn band. So I'm now at 6 versus 4. I've got nothing I can chuck at it, but I have got a lucky. 6 versus 4. 6 versus 4. -5. Can flip a stable key. No. Third action. Fight with the time worn band. 6 versus 4. 6 versus 4. -2. We do get to flip another card. So let's flip this one. That's the middle. So right and middle, right and middle, right and middle. Okay, that's it. That's it. Enemy phase, no enemies in play. Upkeep phase, we're going to get a resource. Don't need to ready anything, we're going to draw a card. Oh, okay, here we go. Paradimensional understanding. You must either choose one. Immediately shift an unstable key you control, which is what I'm going to have to do. Flip each stable key. So I'm going to have to flip this, which means I draw an encounter card. Secrets lost. Test willpower 3. For each point you fail by, choose a non-weakness card in your hand and set it aside out of play as a hollow. Willpower 3. 3 versus 3. -4. So I don't fail by 2. And that's going to go out. Lucky's going to go in as a hollow. Okay, well that's got that out of the way and done with. Mythos phase. We're going to put a doom on the agenda. So we're now at 2 of 7. We're going to draw our card. Otherworldly Mimic. Otherworldly Mimic was similar to those before. It's aloof. If Otherworldly Mimic is ready, when an investigation at its location plays, commits, or triggers an ability of a copy of a set-aside or hollow, it attacks us. Well, we need to attack it to kill it to remember bloody William's thing. Okay. We move on to the investigation phase. First action to engage. Second action to hit it. It's a fight of 3. I'm at 6. 6 versus 3. Do I risk it? 6 versus 3 -3. Yeah. 6 versus 3. -2. If this is attack against a ready outside, which it is, automatically fail. Third and final action. I might as well exhaust the time-worn brand to make me 7 versus 3. 7 versus 3, -1. We kill it. We kill it, and then we remember William's get an asset from his discard pile. An asset. We'll get the cherished keepsake into hand, just to shore up our sanity. That's it for the investigation phase. Enemy phase, we've killed it. We don't need to worry about it. Move to the upkeep phase. We're going to ready everything. We're going to get our actions back. We're going to gain a resource. We're going to machete. It's a fight symbol. That's the right hand one. That's the middle one. Right hand, middle. Okay, we move into the mythos phase. We put a doom on the agenda. We're now at 3 of 7. We're now at 3 of 7. We get our card. Dissonant voices. Put dissonant voices into play into your threat area. You cannot play assets or events. At the end of the round, discard dissonant voices. I can tell you that. Can't play assets or events. Okay. Investigation phase. I really want to make sure of this one. So my first action, I'm going to exhaust the time-worn band to fight against the concealed cards. So I'm now 7 versus 4. I can't play assets or events. So I'm assuming that means you can't commit. I would assume that means you can't. It says you cannot play assets or events. Okay, let's do it like that. 7 versus 3. 7 versus 4. 7 versus 4. Auto fail. Auto fail. Normal fight. I've exhausted it now. Bugger, that was a mistake. Investigate. I'd only be 4 versus 4. I am 4 versus 4. That's so annoying. That was my first action. Second action, I'm going to draw a card. Foundation intel. It's a weakness, just can't leave my hand. That's fine. Third action, draw another card. Look what I found. Okay, well we've got some cards in hand now. That is it for the investigation phase. Enemy phase, we're not fussed about. Upkeep phase, we're going to get a resource. We're going to draw a card. Flashlight. And distant voices goes. We go to the mythos phase. We put a doom on the agenda. We're now 4 of 7. We draw our encounter card. Substance dissimulation. For each set aside hollow you own, if there are 1 or more copies in your play area and or hand, there isn't, I don't think. Oh yeah, I've got to look what you found. Take 1 damage and 1 horror. Machete, cherished keepsake, is that in there? That is. Oh, so those 2 are in there. For each set aside hollow you own, if there are 1 or more copies of that hollow in your play area, discard those copies. So those have got to be discarded. And take 1 damage and 1 horror. Put the 1 horror onto the Claret Knight. And he can take the damage as well. He's a 3 of 4. He's doing a sterling job, Claret Knight. Okay. Ready up. I should have readied. Go to the investigation phase. Right, middle. Right, middle. I am going to fight the concealed card. I'm going to use the jury rig. Give me so I'm plus 4. So I'm at 8 versus 4. Eight versus 4. All right, plus 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 3. Decoy. Okay. So that is the left-hand one. Second action, I use the jury rig to give me +2. So 8 versus 4 again. 8 versus 4. -3. We win. So we're going to expose this one, which is the left-hand side. Third and final action, that stays exposed. Third and final action, we'll take the last bit off the jury rig to go 8 versus 4 again. 8 versus 4. Tablet -2. It's not an outsider attack. We're going to expose this one. Nearly done the wrong one. Nearly done the wrong one. God, MB, that would have been, I'd have been home in tears. Okay, that's it for the investigation phase. Jury rig goes. Jury rig goes. Okay. Enemy phase, not worried. Upkeep phase. Get our actions back. We gain a resource. We draw a card. We've got another machete. All about the machetes. Okay, mythos phase. We put a doom on the agenda. We are 5 of 7. We are 5 of 7. We draw our card. Paracausal entity. It's going to engage us. We look at the top card and we set it aside as a hollow. That's annoying. It could have been worse actually. Having an enemy is not too bad. We go to the investigation phase. Now we're going to try and kill the paracausal identity. Three. First action is to fight. I'm not going to exhaust the time worn band, but I'm going to chuck 2 machetes in for +2. So 2, 6, 8. 8 versus 3. 8 versus 3, -1. We kill it. 2 damage, which is enough. And then we can look for an asset. Let's again bring out the cherished keepsake. Or just thinking about icons for tests actually, because we are going to be fighting to reveal this one. So actually I'll bring out the machete as a fight. as a fight icon. Second action, going to fight. Now I really want to make sure I get this. So I'm going to be going overkill. So that's going to exhaust the time worn band. So that's going to take me to 7. And I will chuck a machete in against it. So that's 8. 8 versus 4. 8 versus 4. -2. We get it. And then we're going to expose this one here. Boom. So our second action. Third action. Do I ascend at this point? Yeah, I'm going to sort it. I'm going to, because something might happen. I'm going to ascend for my last action because I've exposed those in the right order. Left, middle, right. The only way, in order for the investigator to enter the towering vertex, concealed mini cords around the gravity-defying climb must be exposed in the following sequence, which is what I've just done. And then it says here on the ascend, if the investigator enters the towering vertex, advance. Windows and doors. With Herculean effort, you practically crawl from the final step to the tower's pinnacle. Twisting clouds of crimson and violet clash in a multi-dimensional sky. Infinite gateways to infinite worlds, all of them oblivious, all of them blind, all of them theirs for the taking. You look out from the world of the outsiders with both awe and pity upon the countless worlds worth of ruin they have collected, discarded, forsaken, lost to all time. It's a garbage heap of cosmic proportions. At the very centre, your foe, who has orchestrated humanity's erasure. Its body only scarcely resembles the red glove man now. With no human face to wear, its gaze is empty, its expression unknowable. Set each concealed mini card aside, out of play. Set each concealed mini card out of play. Swap the set aside Nemesis, Mimnic Nemesis enemy with the red glove man enemy. Oh god, okay. So that's the Mimnic Nemesis. Mimetic. Fight 5, 3 health, 5. Ancient 1, outsider, elite. Massive, cannot make attacks of opportunity. Mimnic gets +3 health for each, so it's 6 health. Forced, when Mimetic Nemesis would take 1 or more damage from an attack or player card, choose and reveal a concealed mini card. If it's a decoy, cancel all damage just dealt. The decoy remains in play face up. Otherwise, the damage is dealt normal. Then flip the revealed mini cards. Then flip all revealed mini cards face down and shuffle them. Let's just bring this down here a little bit. So he's gone. Right, take the Mimetic Nemesis and 2 decoys per player. Shuffle them face down and arrange them around the towering vertex in a random order. Flip this. 6 Shroud. There's no clues. 6 shroud, no clues. Forced. When a concealed mini card around the towering vertex is exposed, if it is the mimetic nemesis mini card, deal the mimetic nemesis 3 damage. Then flip all concealed mini cards face down and shuffle them face down. A decoy, it remains in play and exposed. Okay. Okay. The final you brandish the keys you have collected and brace yourself. If you cannot this entity, it will be the, and none will ever be the wiser. I don't get that. It's just loads of little writing and stuff like that. Action, flip a stable key you control to its unstable side. Remove an exposed decoy from the game. If the mimetic nemesis is defeated, advance. Okay, need to remember that. So that was my third action. That was my third action. Enemy phase. Ugh, he's going to attack us. He is going to attack us. He does 3 and 3. Ouch. Three and 3. Okay. So let's work this damage spread out. Three and 3. So I take it this all is applied at the same time. So I'm going to be a bit cheeky and put 1 and 1 on Eshem, which kills her. She's gone. One and 1 onto the Claret Knight, which kills him. And then I'll take 1 and 1. I'll take 1 and 1. Okay. Upkeep phase. Get a resource. We get those back on. We draw a card. Flashlight. Delightful. So he's got 6 health. We move to the mythos phase. We put a doom on the agenda. We're now at 6 of 7. We draw a card. Paradigm Effacer. Aloof Hunter. After you end your turn at the Paradigm Effacer's location, look at the top card of your deck. If it's not a weakness, set it aside out of play as a hollow. Then if you own 3 or more set aside hollow, Paradigm attacks you. Okay. That's annoying. That's annoying. 1 and 1. Two decoy cards there and one. Six. Wowzers. Fight of 6 or a shroud of 6. Okay, I think I'm going to ignore the paradigm effacer. That might be a mistake. It does 1 and 1. I haven't got the luxury of really spending time on him. I've got to try and unconceal these cards. So I'm going to first action is to fight the mimetic nemesis. I'm just going to call it the nemesis. First action is to fight the nemesis. It says force when the nemesis would take 1 or more damage from an attack or a player card. Choose and reveal a concealed mini cards. Cancel all damage just dealt. If it's a decoy, right? So let's fight it first of all. +2, so I'm at 6 versus 5. 6 versus 5. I am thinking of flipping the stable key, the Eye of Ravens, to give me a base of 6. But then if I get a decoy, I can flip it to actually remove it. But I've got 1 turn really to kill it, I think. So I'm currently 6 versus 5. Do I just have a punt? Yeah, because I don't want to exhaust the Time Worn brand at the moment. Or, hang on a sec. No, I'm flipping. 8 versus 5. 8 versus 5. Might be the mistake. 8 versus 5. Skull. Act number 4. 8 versus 5. That's a fail. That's a fail. That's a fail. Okay, second attack. 6 versus 5. Six versus 5. 6 versus 5. -1. We get to expose a decoy card. Just use this dice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2. Oh! Okay, 6 versus 5. When a concealed mini card around the Tyrannix vortex is exposed, if it's the Nemesis mini card, deal the Nemesis 3 damage. 3 damage. Flip all concealed face cards, shuffle them face down. This is it. This is it. Trying not to know which one's what. Got no idea. Last action. Exhaust the time-worn brand. To attack at 7 versus 5. Got nothing in hand that can alter it. Seven versus 5. Seven versus 5. -1. Okay, that's step 1 done. Step 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Basically, this whole campaign comes down to this roll of this dice. That's a 6. It's this card. It's a decoy. It's a decoy. Oh, right. When a concealed mini card around the towering vertex is exposed, if it's the damaged one, if it's the Nemesis card, you flip them. If it's a decoy, it remains in play and exposed. That's it. That's it for my turn. We go to the enemy phase. I think I'm dead. I think I'm dead. First of all, the Nemesis is going to attack me for 3 and 3. 3 and 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Oh. How come I've only got 1 left? I'm down to 1. Down to 4. And then here, unfortunately, there's nothing I could do about it. After you end your turn at Paradigm Effacer's location, look at the top card of your deck. If it's not a weakness, which it isn't, set it aside. Then if you own 3 or more set aside hollows, which I do, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. He attacks me. Takes me from 1 health. Boom. And 1 sanity. Down to 0. William goes insane at the top of the towering vertex, which is quite apt. Where was it? Was it here? No, it was here. What would we have rolled? Would have rolled a 3, which would have been that one. There we go. I knew that. I knew this was probably going to come back to bite me, and it did. And it did. Right, that is it for my Scarlet Keys campaign solo playthrough with William. what are my thoughts on the Scarlet Key campaign? But it's the first time I played Arkham Horror on the channel for a while, so still in the first few games I'm still getting rusty. I think the deck's okay. Playing true solo is a challenge, and it certainly was a challenge for me in this campaign. I think I am going to play the campaign again at some point in the future, but it will be two-handed rather than solo. I just think you can offset a little bit better, generally speaking, sort of clue gatherer and damage dealer type affair. But no, I think the campaign's really good. This scenario, this bottom bit here, I sort of get what they're trying to do. I do get it, and they've probably worded it the best they can word it. But having watched quite a few things online, some videos, pretty much everybody's confused by it, and I'm sure playing it again would help, certainly help me. But that's it. That is it for William. We're going to leave him a gibbering wreck at the towering vortex, and for an infinite amount of time, and maybe we'll have a different multiverse version of William at some point in the future. But I hope you've enjoyed this series. I've enjoyed putting it together. And without further ado, I will bid you ta-da for now.